Author's Vlog Supplemental 7.5. Last week we talked about scene, sequel, scene, and I said I would show you the stuff that I'm doing with mine to give you an idea of how it works with Save the Cat. So let me throw that up on the board. So this is what the beginning looks like for me. I've got the opening image and the setup, and I start with the goal. The very first goal that they have when the book opens. It doesn't really have anything to do with the overarching plot line because they actually haven't been introduced to the overarching plot line. So their goal is to go to the company party, make an appearance, be sociable, do all the company mingling stuff that you need to do at a company party, and then stay there for an hour or two, and then go see friends. But some weird stuff starts happening in the middle of the party. Kind of upsets Bella a bit. Brea, our main character, doesn't like to see her sister upset. That's kind of putting a kink in things and kind of screwing up the night and making it hard for them to just be social through the party. They decide to leave a little bit earlier than they normally would. Because of that, they go outside. The car's mashed in. They can't go anywhere now. Bella's more upset. Brea's really pissed off and just disgusted at humanity as a whole for bashing in her car and driving away. Somebody at the company obviously did this. I'm really upset about it. You know, the normal reactions you'd have. Dilemma. So, how are we going to get home? What are we going to do with the car? Decision. Rafe, their boss, the one who owns the company, offers, because it happened on his property at his party, offers to take care of the car and drive them home, or have his driver drive them home. Brea thinks that's a great idea. It just destroys this. So this doesn't happen. But that gives a new goal. Because Bella's so upset here, and Brea doesn't like her sister upset, and they decide to go home, that gives Brea her next goal, which is to calm Bella down. We're gonna go for a run in the woods as cats. We'll calm down. Also brings in the twins at work, as we mentioned earlier, and at play. So I'm trying to get it all in here. More weird crap is happening. Just really random stuff. Some of it Brea tries to hide from her sister, some of it not. At the end of the night, when they're done with their run, at like 1 o'clock in the morning, some weird Legolas-looking dude shows up at the door. Now Bella's really upset. Like, just nothing is right. Everything's messed up. None of this sounds right. None of this smells right. There's just something going on. What do we do? Bella wants to do something that night. Brea talks her down. We'll do something in the morning. Look, we'll call Dad. We'll go to sleep now because we don't want to wake him up in the middle of the night. It's probably nothing. Just weird things sometimes happen. We'll call him tomorrow morning. So that would lead to the next goal. So that first bit was all in the setup. So now we've got the last little bit, the goal from the last scene, talk to Dad in Montana. So they want to call their dad, they want to see what's going on. Conflict. They can't get a hold of him. They've been calling, no answer. We'll call the neighbors down the street. They're only 5 miles away. The neighbors go over, call him back. The front door is open and no one's home, but the cars are there. Disaster. Also, the catalyst. This is the call to action that catapults why does the hero always come on now. The parents aren't home, they can't get a hold of them, they don't know where they are, they should be home, like something's happening and they don't know what it is, and they're freaked out. So that's the catalyst, that's the inciting incident that pulls them into the storyline. So then they have the reaction, fear obviously, what is going on, what's happening, you know, uncertainty, all that stuff, so that's in the reaction. So the dilemma that they go through also happens to be the debate for the beat sheet. So as you can see, like, now they have a discussion. What are we going to do? We'll start asking questions, going through all the possibilities. Do we call the police? Do we go to Montana? Do we drive? Do we fly? What are we going to do with our jobs? So this is all the debate. This is, are they going to answer the call to action? So we got a dilemma, now we need a decision. Right back. So that leads to the break into two, where they make a decision, where Brea specifically makes a decision as the main character. They're going to go to Montana, they're going to get time off work. So the next goal is to get time off of work. So Bella, being the bard of the group, the better conversationalist, is going to call their boss. While that's happening, Rafe calls Brea on her phone. While talking about the whole problem with the car, somehow he gets the story of what's going on out of Brea and starts making a bunch of decisions. Like, okay, I'll get you there. You've got time off, no problem. Pack your stuff and go to the airport. It'll be fine. Her reaction in this is very, very short. Just as short as what you saw on Hot Fuzz, where it's just very quick. While she's on the phone, she's like, crap, this is going to cause all kinds of problems. I'm going over their heads. This is favoritism at the company. This is going to cause all kinds of stuff. What am I going to do about it? You know what? It's not important right now. So she goes through reaction, dilemma, and decision internally very quickly. Because really, the company politics just don't matter in the face of trying to figure out what happened to her parents. Next goal, we need to get on a plane. So we need to get tickets. We're falling off the thing. We need to get airplane tickets and get on a plane. They get to the airport, they've packed light. Rafe's administrative assistant is there waiting for them and says, don't worry about getting airplane tickets, we've got it taken care of. Brea's not real happy about this because obviously he's way overstepping his bounds as their boss. But it happens anyway. Disaster happens to be the B story. Rafe is out there on a private plane waiting for them, and he's going to fly them himself because he also flies. So that's what I've got. I've gotten up to, actually how far did I get? I've been writing it in my handy dandy notebook here. You can see I've got all this stuff. So I've been going through, and I actually got to their parents' house. So I actually got all the way into the beginning of the fun and games just by doing this. And now that I know the overall plot line, because I've got that pegged out, I know what I need to hit. I know exactly what's going to happen where. Like, I knew what the B story was, and I knew what the break into 2 would be. So all I have to do is like, okay, when I'm going through, I need to make a goal. I need to make a decision here. So I know that this is where the sequel's going to hit. That's the end of that sequel, is going to be the break into 2. And I know that the B story is going to be a disaster. Just like I knew that the catalyst was going to be a disaster at the end of a scene. So it even helps you with that kind of pacing to know exactly how to get from we're at a party to my parents are gone. Like, how far, how many scenes does that take? Well, if this has to end on a disaster, then that has to be its own scene, so I can get like 1, maybe 2 scenes in, and then start that arc. So that's really helpful. I know the midpoint's going to have to be a disaster. That's how that usually works. A lot of the beats actually end up hitting on disasters, which is kind of fun. All Is Lost, Dark Night of the Soul is usually just a sequel because it's a reaction and then a dilemma, and then at the end of it you make a decision, which is also the break into 3. So it really works really well to break it up into scene sequels. It's very helpful, and I know how many scenes I have to go through to get to each point. Normally I don't take it too much finer than that. Sometimes I will if I'm not absolutely certain, because even with this, like this whole conversation is just, I'm going to have to figure out what they say in that conversation. It's not going to be like a short little thing. And every once in a while, if I'm not absolutely certain how I want to go through the scene, I'll actually break it down by saying, okay, Rafe calls. He says this. Okay, Bray responds this way. He responds this way. I might go through and make a few sentences to explain what actually happens, but I usually don't go that deep into it. Usually this kind of thing is enough. This gives me enough of an idea of what I need to happen that I can just write it from this. This is what it looks like when I do it. Like I said, I usually do it in a notebook. See, I start, I've got the opening image here, and I just start going down and just writing out what's happening. And I've finally codified how to spell Brea's name. Yay. It took forever. So when I'm writing, I'll just have this next to me, and I'll, just go through it. That's what I did this week. If you have any other questions, of course, our email address is hey@getwriting.wang, because honestly, who wouldn't have .wang as their email address? That's just awesome. This Sunday's episode is about motivation reaction units. That's it. Email us if you have any questions or comment down below. Hey@getwriting.wang.